What's the one thing all great teams have in common?
Great coaching.
Try to suck up to me, Avery.
Hey! Goldberg! I bet that truck was a cheeseburger, you stop it!
No, I agree. I would not be an acid physically. I have more of a podcast body.
Quack! 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 No!
It's the Quack Attack Podcast.
Hey everybody, I was this close. I'm Mike, that's Tommy.
Hello everyone.
That's Kevin.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to the Quack Attack Podcast, the definitive Mighty Ducks podcast. We are calling an audible today. We had a guest lined up, had to reschedule it, so I'm hopeful for the future here. But we still have a lot to talk about despite that. And the first thing I want to do though is let's check in on some kin token action. We haven't checked in a while here. December 2016. So we're coming up on almost 5 years now.
Wow. What are we going to do for the 5-year anniversary? Maybe we cash out?
Oh,
Throw
that
a
would
party?
be. Oh,
buy a couple personal pizzas.
Maybe just one.
Yeah. But 5 years, December 2016, Kevin invests roughly $300 in kin token. I think it was like 343 or something like that. It was all the way down to $1.29 or something, had popped back up to $20. Where do we sit now, Kevin?
We're sitting at $34.39.
Okay.
So I think if we get to $200, we have to cash out and go to PF Chang's.
Oh, that would be good.
Well, maybe like 220 because there's taxes.
Yeah, it's I'd have to buy some Ethereum to cash out, and that's expensive right now. So I don't know what the number would have to be. But I'm in it for the long haul.
Obviously, 5 years. The second thing that we have not really touched on too much, but I did want to bring this back up. We do have a chicken wing challenge that we need to figure out. There was a lot of talk about making this like a big event. We were talking about flying to Vegas and stuff like that. Obviously, Delta variant, Lambda variant, whatever kind of mu variants out there now. Be careful, people, with coronavirus. So I don't know, what we're going to do if flying is still on the table and whatnot, but I'm still thinking about the chicken wing challenge. Kevin, are you still up to attempt the 42 chicken wings?
Absolutely.
I think we all need to attempt it.
Oh, yeah. We're all attempting it. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. That would add some flavor to it. So, can you beat Kevin? And yeah, so we'll I'll try to think about that more and see what we can do. And if any challengers want to come in and take on Kevin and us, we'll let you know. We'll let you know what's going to happen.
We need to fly to like I don't know, where's Matt Doherty living these days?
Los Angeles.
Well, we're going to LA and we're gonna just tell Matt we need 2 hours of your time. We're gonna do a chicken wing challenge. Hopefully he's not a vegetarian.
Hopefully not. I did try to get Evan's dad, Eddie McClintock, to like do it, but he's like pretty famous actually. He's like got people and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of Twitter followers. But if you're still out there, and I hope I said his name right. I hope it's Eddie. It's something McClintock.
It's Eddie McClintock. You might know him for The Sweetest Thing that came out in 2002. He played Michael. And we'll give him he was in Bones for a while, so good for him.
Yeah, I did.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a good resume there. So
he can afford 42 chicken wings. We'll put it that way.
We'll see if we can get him involved somehow. I think he's on Cameo. His Cameo is kind of expensive though. But hey, we have producer money now, so we'll see if that is money well spent. But let's move on. Let's move on to the topic at hand here. This one was in the news. Again, Us Weekly talked to Marguerite Moreau, who played Connie Moreau in Mighty Ducks. So we talked about this before. She talked about, Joshua Jackson saying he was excited to be in Game Changers season 2-ish. There was some ambiguity there, but you go back and listen to our other episodes. I'll put it in the show notes to hear our discussion on that. But they published another part of this interview, Us Weekly or usmagazine.com. I don't know which one they prefer, but Marguerite talks about dating and talks specifically about Elden Henson, who played Fulton Reed. And for those that don't know, Elden Henson is Guy Germain, Garrett Henson's brother. So the two characters were not brothers, but the actors were brothers. And she says, I was so sweet on Fulton. We kind of dated while filming the first movie. I can't delve on anyone else because I'm just me, but I definitely was, sweet on the boys and boy crazy. So this throws a lot of wrenches into both, I feel like, the set and the, I guess, character dynamic between Guy, Fulton. There was some talk that Guy was maybe Fulton's half brother, and we don't know this thing. So first of all, do we think it caused any issues on set between Elden Henson, Garrett Henson, and Marguerite Moreau?
I think there's probably a good amount of teasing that might have gone on, being at that age, especially because one of the big parts of the first movie is they don't kiss, right? And so it's not like, hey, I'm kissing your girlfriend, guy, whatever. I'm the good brother. But I can imagine there being some teasing going on, just because it's just good, clean fun right there.
Yeah, they do make out at the end. They have a pretty intense makeout session for a 12-year-old when they're all celebrating there. But Kevin, if you're on set, what's your play here?
What's my play here?
Yeah, I mean, if you're on set, are you making fun of Elden? Are you making fun of Garrett? Who's the loser in this situation?
I guess Guy would be, or Garrett, I guess, because he, not only is he always kind of losing out in the actual filming, on the sidelines, he's not even, in the thick of it. So, yeah, I think it's definitely would be quite a bit of teasing going on just because of the age and, that general time of life. So I bet it was a lot of fun.
So you
not for Guy though. It wasn't fun for him.
Yeah. So you did remind me of something I did want to bring up. So the debate about, the best in the trilogy has raged on. And one of the Quacklights, Hannah, she wrote a whole dissertation on D3, why it was the best. Basic theme was, it's about change, and it's about change in teenagers' life and how it's inevitable and dealing with change. So there were some good points in there, but the one interesting thing that she brought up, and she sort of just brought this up pretty casually, that Guy and Connie were actually broken up in D3, which is an interesting sort of side note, because they have a couple scenes together, and Connie is like, hey, you look, and then Guy's like, oh, incredibly handsome, and she goes, incredibly stupid or whatever. So I don't know if that is I have to go back and review the film, but it could add a whole nother layer to this aspect here with Guy and Fulton and Connie going at it. So
I think they were still together. I think because the line is it looks so, and he's ruggedly handsome, and she says amazingly stupid. But I think it's just couples fight.
I mean, yeah, Tommy's wife tells him that all the time.
That I'm ruggedly handsome.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'd like to get the Quacklights to weigh in here. Like I said, I'm going to have to, review this a little harder, but I had never considered that really until Hannah brought it up. But do we think there's any relationship between Guy and Fulton, the character?
Do we think that they are related?
Yeah, in some way. Half brother, cousin.
I'm gonna say no, because we don't get any sort of acknowledgement on that. Not even a hint of anything,
Yeah, I think we would kind of have to look through. We'd really be going through the weeds, which we never do. We never have speculative fiction in this show, but it would have to be something like Guy's dad or something like that is like actually like they were half brothers, like, or something like that, and maybe they don't realize it because Guy's dad like was fooling around or something, because they're the same age, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean they'd have to be
Unless we got
within like
separated at
a
birth thing.
year or so. Yeah.
Maybe they're twins, and like Fulton was the evil one, and so they sent him away.
He's the good son,
Maybe
or the bad son.
like they sent Fulton away because like he came out like, and he was just like, oh, I don't want a kid that only plays football.
Mm-hmm.
And so they sent him away to live in the alley. So maybe that's what they did, like separated at birth.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, we don't know really anything about Fulton's parent. He seems to be a street kid. So it's possible, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. As Kevin said, we don't really have any evidence here. But do we have any evidence that Connie and Fulton had anything going on here?
No, but I can imagine Fulton, everyone, like a lot of the girls kind of being like, what's his story? He's so mysterious. And that like Fulton would definitely play into that, in his later years. And so I can imagine Connie or other girls having crushes on him and not really talking about it though.
Yeah. You'd figure Connie had a crush on Fulton just based on this new evidence that came up, considering, it is a documentary. So I don't know if that splits up Connie and Guy. So obviously if you go to Game Changers now, you jump. Connie and Guy go the distance. They have kids. So they make it. But do we think they stay together from when they were 12 years old all the way throughout, or are there some like bumps in the road where they, break up for a while, start dating other people, that kind of deal?
I think it was more of a breakup and then a reconnection later. Maybe like after he's a lawyer, yes.
Well, he's
his
dad. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Connie is a Minnesota State senator.
So maybe after, I don't know, undergrad or post-grad, if one of them got a post-grad degree, maybe like they reconnected at like some networking event or something, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Oh, interesting.
I definitely think there was a gap.
Yeah. So are we thinking they broke up high school or, for just a couple of years in college? Like how deep are we going between, when they broke up, when they got back together and all that?
So I think they were still dating when they went to college, but they went to different colleges and they tried to do that. And then by the end of freshman year, they're broken up. And
like
then
it's like American Pie 2.
Yeah,
classic story.
And then Guy bucks a pie. But no, yeah, they do reconnect. I don't know if they reconnect like after college or like maybe during senior year, or it's like Connie ends up doing grad school like back in Minneapolis or something, and so she grabs a drink with Guy and they reunite or something like that. Because I could see Connie getting a graduate degree since she has political aspirations.
Yeah, so I do think we're on the right track here. So Connie and Guy are pretty much, tied together. Even in high school, you would figure they're tied together whether they like it or not at this point. They go to different colleges, new people, don't know their history. They sort of branch out of what they were sort of pigeonholed into. And then we come back shortly after college, or Connie's getting a master's degree in law or public policy or something. And then they come back together. Is there any point in time where Connie and Fulton get together then?
Maybe one of the summers back home. Fulton, maybe he's working construction and she sees him and they have a couple dates or something.
Yeah. I think it definitely happens at some point. And I think maybe that leads to a little bit of that, maybe some animosity for a while. And then it just takes time for it to kind of resolve.
I could also see a scenario where Fulton, since we've always kind of said he's captain material, he's loyal, where even if Connie showed interest, and if he had interest, he wouldn't. Like, even though like Guy's totally out of the picture at that time or something like that, I could see Fulton being like loyal, like to a fault, really, and kind of staying away. So yeah, and then I could also see Fulton being a bit of a player at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, he does seem pretty invested in the Ducks, even 20 years later. He was like all pumped up for the Ducks gala. So it certainly seems like at some point Fulton and Connie, I don't know if they give it like a real shot, but they are hanging out with one another. Yeah, how long does that take, do we think, for Guy to get over? Does Connie bring it up, I guess? Does Guy ever figure this out? Does he learn of this? Does Connie bring it up at like early on, or does she wait until they're together and married and bring it up later?
I think Guy knows. I think one thing about Guy and the Game Changers, he looks very like level-headed. He kind of knows like his role and everything, and he's cool with it. And also, like, Guy, when he was broken up with Connie, I'm sure he also like dated around. It wasn't like a true American Pie where he was just obsessed with Connie the whole time, I don't think.
Yeah, like he went and hooked up with like Julie the cat or something.
Oh
no, actually, to get back at Fulton, he hooked up with Portman.
Oh, that would be a twist. Now we're getting into some there's some fan fiction out there that gets dangerously close to what we're talking about right now. So you can look it up. Just search it online. I don't want to direct you to any of.
You're not going to link it in the show notes?
We'll see.
Nah, just tell people what they can search for.
Yeah, just Google Mighty Ducks fan fiction and whatever suffixes you're into onto the end of that. Anyway, let's move on here. So Connie and Guy, Connie dates Fulton, Guy dates around. Do we think Julie is in the picture here or no? Like, seriously with Guy?
Julie, no. I think again, she would never date a teammate, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Maybe he shoots the shot and then gets shut down.
Yeah, it might be like a one-time deal, but it's not like a serious dating thing. You figure Julie on the path to, superstardom as Team USA's goalie. So she's probably traveling around.
She's dating Scooter. Like, Scooter graduates, but they're like dating or whatever.
Yeah. She's going for the older guys there. So yeah. So then they come back, they get together. There's some baggage to work out, but we figure they eventually work it out. And then they come back, get together. Is there anything we missed in sort of filling in the gaps here? And I'm interested to see if we get into any of this later on in Mighty Ducks Game Changers, if any of the backstory comes up here.
So what you could say is like a Julie or a Connie and Guy's wedding. Obviously, Fulton will be invited. I think all the Ducks are invited. But you also see Guy's dad is there, and then Guy's dad is like, holy shit, that's the other son, Fulton, that I never told anyone about. And so maybe you've got some, that's when it came out, or maybe Guy's dad went back into hiding or something like that. Because I do think we could probably explore some more Guy Fulton relations, and whether it's, hey, yeah, they just have the same dad, and maybe they don't know it, obviously, or they separated at birth. And I like the separated at birth angle.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I was too focused on the Connie, Guy, Fulton triangle. I forgot that they were separated at birth, and Fulton went to live in an alley. So yeah, that wedding becomes interesting because the dad obviously sees Fulton. Does he tell Guy/Connie at any point about this relationship? Or does he even tell Fulton that he's the dad? A lot of questions for Guy's dad here.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be tough to be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm your father, after leaving you in an alley. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, they're twins, and Fulton was like, he looked like an evil kid, and so they abandoned him.
I think he might open himself up to some criminal liability there if that's the case.
That's true. It would have to be Fulton. It'd have to be some sort of like 23andMe situation where
Yeah, Fulton does it, and then like Guy gets it for like the whole family for Christmas. Oh, it'll be fun to find out like, oh, are we Irish or are we whatever? I guess French Canadian.
Yeah.
And then the dad is reluctant, and they kind of have to pressure him into doing it. And then they have a talk, and Fulton's like, there's a whole backstory of Fulton being raised by like dogs and like being able to bark with them and speak to them.
Oh wow. That's a good skill. He's kind of like an Aquaman for dogs, where he can.
And that's why he didn't learn how to skate, because dogs don't skate.
Makes sense. We're on top of it now. Okay, so 23andMe, Fulton learns that Guy is his at least half brother, maybe full brother.
We're gonna say full on brother. Same parents, same mom, same dad. And maybe mom, like I don't know. We could get really dark here. We won't do that. Let's just say mom's no longer in the picture.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we know they come from like a rough neighborhood. Even Key comes from a rough neighborhood at the beginning of D1 there. So Fulton's dad explains this to Fulton, that he was basically an evil child. What is Fulton's reaction? Does he want to have a relationship with Guy / his dad, or does he, just shun him, or is he out for revenge? What if you're Fulton, how do you play this, Kevin?
I mean, I don't think there could ever be any sort of reconciliation there. That's a pretty big, betrayal, if you will. I do think it changes Guy and his father's relationship, though.
Interesting. In what way? Like, does Guy mad at his father?
Yeah, I mean, he would have to be like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
He's not like, oh my God, you chose me. I'm so grateful. I'm your favorite.
That's a good point. Guy's an adult now. Like, maybe if he was still 12 or something, there'd be a different relationship. But yeah, you'd have to be.
It explains why they name one of their kids off of Bombay and not after like the dad. Like Bombay was like the best dad he had, maybe.
Oh,
so maybe
true.
his dad is just an overall piece of shit.
That's
and I
true.
guess forcing one of your kids to go live in an alley, it's probably an indicator of that as well.
Yeah, that is some excellent points there. Just a real rags to riches story, I guess, for Fulton. Just an incredible story to survive as a baby with dogs and grow up on the streets, and then be able to talk to dogs, become a football star, become a hockey star, and then goes into construction. Fine profession, nothing wrong with that. So just a real American success story for Fulton. Does it get weird that Connie dated Guy's brother at any point? I guess this is after the wedding that they learn. Does that throw any sort of wrench into this marriage?
I mean, I operate under the assumption that it was known before the wedding.
That it was known that Fulton was his brother?
Oh, no, not that.
But he
did know that they had hooked up.
Right. But hooking up with the friend versus and we don't really know that Guy and Fulton were that great of friends. It's not like there's in a lot of scenes, hanging out with each other. But yeah, does it change anything that it's now his brother that Connie dated for a while they were on a break?
Makes things a little awkward at first, but I think by the time Game Changers rolls around, like, they're all fine.
Okay, I can accept that. Yeah, I don't think as the evidence indicates, they're still together. They're pretty happy, at least in public. Who knows, what their home life is like? But you would figure they are.
Maybe Game Changers, there's like a subplot of Connie and Guy going through some issues, and Guy's got to talk to Bombay about it or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to Game Changers really getting into this whole As I think Lemaire said on Twitter, Jerry Springer situation. So
And it only gets better with the deadbeat dad of Guy and Fulton.
yeah, exactly. Maybe he shows back up. Who knows? Who knows what he's doing nowadays? But I'm excited to see him season 2, season 3. Might
So
have to
real
wait
quick,
till season 4.
Season 2, season 3, season 4, whenever it happens, who would play Guy and Fulton's dad? It's got to be like in his 60s, I guess.
He's got to be relatively good looking, but not like amazingly good looking, I would say. So in his 60s. My first thought was like a Martin Sheen, but he's just for, he's a
No,
little
that's
too old.
obviously Bombay's dad. It's going to be real weird.
Who's in his 60s? How old is Vin Diesel? Well, can we throw him in?
I'm all in for that. That'd be great.
Vin Diesel as Guy, and I think he's in his 50s.
Okay. I don't want to go like Tom Cruise here. Like I said, that's a little too much for,
I was gonna say for comedy purposes, Richard Kind, just because that'd be funny, but
I mean, we can leave it up. We can leave it open.
We can put out a call
Yeah.
to the Quacklights what they think.
Yeah. We can
I've
definitely.
got have you guys seen Shameless?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. William H. Macy would be really good.
He's a little too old, and I don't think he's good
A little
looking
too
enough.
old, man.
But the Fiona's like older boyfriend boss in like a couple of seasons.
Yeah. He'd be good.
Because he's like a good looking older man.
He might be too young though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe Guy's dad had these children young. But we can leave it up to the Quacklights and see, what they think about it. But as they continue to look, anything else we need to address here with this whole situation?
All right, hold on. I'm finding out the actor here, Dermot Mulroney,
Solid.
and he is 57. So it could have been like had a young kid or something, or had a kid when you were 18 or 19. It does happen.
All right. I like it. Let's do it. Dermot Mulroney for now. Tentative.
All
We
right.
got some time. We got some time to figure it out. Like I said, I don't think they're going to get to it in season 2. Maybe season 3. Possibly might have to wait till season 4.
All right. So Elden Henson, the actor, is 44. So he'd have to be 13. So we're going to have to brainstorm this a little bit.
Yeah, maybe not. Let's move on here. Let's go to the quick question. You asked us questions on Twitter, on Facebook, through the Discord. We picked the best ones, try to answer them. Like I said, we were supposed to have a guest, so we are not prepared.
Yeah, I'm woefully unprepared for this.
I'm looking
Just
for
like every other week.
Yeah.
I'm looking for one. This one we might have to expand on later, but it's a good one from Berg19 on the Discord. He says, thinking about the connections between heavyweights and the Ducks documentaries, camp counselor Lars is billed as from far away. If he was from Iceland, had chosen hockey over camp counseling, would he have put Iceland over the top in D2? Similarly, wondering how the Ducks have done with the Ducks have done with the help of Nurse Julie could have happened if Tibbles didn't callously dismiss her at the party at Bombay's bachelor pad. So she was going under a different name then, but I do like the original question. Lars, he's from Iceland. If he doesn't go into camp counseling, we're just making that a fact now. He's from Iceland, doesn't go into camp counseling, becomes the Wolf Stanson. What do his Iceland teams do? How do they perform?
Wait, we're assuming he becomes the coach?
Yes.
Because he's deported back to Iceland, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could be an assistant. He and Wolf could work together. He could be like the the trainer or the strength coach, the performance coach, if we want to do it that way.
I feel like he doesn't make much of an impact because he's like too similar to Wolf. Like he's an authoritarian, that kind of coach. He's not like the yin to his yang. So like, I don't know that it makes much of a difference.
That's a good point. And all these players are not overweight. Like he doesn't have any hate for them. So yeah, I think a lot of his tactics might not play as well with a team that's already put together there. I do sense there might be a little bit of conflict between him and Wolf, so maybe that ends his stay early. But yeah, I don't think I like it, Kevin. I don't think there's too much of an impact. I think he does an average job, a fine job, training these kids, but it's not like, oh, he really lifted their conditioning or their games or their skills any more so than another trainer they could have had. But
well, we need to so Steve Brill directed heavyweights, so we do need to ask him about the Lars connection. And obviously we've talked about heavyweights plenty on this show and some of the connections. There's a lot of the same actors as well. Obviously you've got Karp Goldberg and Russ. So yeah, I'd say Lars is definitely Icelandic.
There you go. Interest. I'm trying to think if there's any sort of scouting capability that he was doing when these kids all went to fat camp. Was he trying to get like a leg up on the next season or whatnot? But a lot to be discussed here. I do like asking Brill that question. I think he would have a good answer for it. But for us, thequacktech.com, go there, contact us at QuackTechPod on Twitter, facebook.com/QuackTechPod. Go to iTunes, give us 5 stars. Tell us what you think of this really just mess that Connie, Guy, Fulton, Guy's dad, Guy's and Fulton's absent mom have really gotten themselves into. Thank you to our producers. We got a new producer, Nurul. Thank you, Nurul. Thanks for the support. Thanks to Elsie, who finally got her stickers after 10 months. I mailed them to Australia in November and they just arrived. So congratulations to her. And remember, ducks fly together.
Ducks fly together.
Back.
The quick